Before you start changing a printhead or anything kind of maintenance on here, make sure the machine is turned off, and I like to unplug it just in case.
Lift the front cover to gain access to the print carriage.
This is our print. This is where our printhead is at approximately. So,
locate and remove the 4 screws that secure in place the clear plastic carriage cover.
For the cover.
You're actually winding up sending 3 images.
Last screw.
And this whole cover should come off.
Toward the back of the print carriage is a black ribbon cable clip. It is held in place by a tab near its top. Release the tab and remove the clip.
Remove that next.
Also disconnect the vertical ribbon cable from the back of the printhead carriage.
So you don't damage those pins.
Adjacent to clip are 2 sets of wire harnesses. One will have 4 gray wires and a white wire. The other one will have 2 black wires extending from a white housing.
Remove this. Careful with this too.
One at a time, gently disconnect each harness.
Yeah, both of them. And then the spring.
And this little spring right here is kind of hard to see.
At the end of the carriage that is opposite the capping station and ribbon cable is a tension spring that connects the print carriage bracket to the print head. Carefully remove this spring by releasing the tension on one end.
Don't lose the spring.
Locate and remove the 3 screws that secure in place the carriage bracket, then remove the carriage bracket itself.
This is the final one on this side.
Gently lift the print head from within the print head carriage. You must be aware of the various ribbon cables and wire harness connectors as you remove the print head.
Tuck these all out of the way.
The print head casing has a couple tabs that could catch on the other carriage parts, causing serious damage if the print head is not removed carefully.
Yeah, I see it right there. So it kind of gets stuck on this little circuit board right here. So you have to kind of pull it up and work it out. It's not too bad. Now we got to remove the actual print head from the device.
3 screws.
Once the print head is free of the carriage, locate and remove the 3 screws that secure the print head to the bottom of the casing. Gently separate the print head from the casing.
Should break apart. These are your...
Locate and remove the 3 screws securing the print head.
Gonna need a small screwdriver for that. It's a really small screw.
Remove the print head.
Okay. This should separate. Don't lose those little porous pads in there. You're going to need those. And they just sit in there. like that.
One at a time, gently disconnect the two ribbon cables from the print head.
The ribbon cables.
Pinch the ribbon cables from the top and bottom close to the print head, and with a sliding motion, separate the print head and the cables. Do not wiggle the cables to remove, and do not pinch inward or fold the sides of the cables. Also note, in most models, the three ribbon cables are labeled O, OO, and OO. Cables O and OO connect to the print head, with cable OO connecting to the print head carriage.
And that should be it for removing the print head.
Place the old print head in a Ziploc bag and deposit it in the trash.
Alright, we're going to replace the print head back in there now with a new one. We want to check the pin connectors. Usually we're checking to make sure there's no moisture or anything like that in there, because if you get moisture in the pin connectors, you will short out the print head.
Insert the two ribbon cables in the new print head, aligning the metal plates on the ribbon cables with the metal connectors of the print head. You'll notice that there are three loose ribbon cables to choose from. Two of these cables will be longer than the third. It is these two that should be reconnected to the printer.
We take the two longest cables, not the shorter one, the two longest cables. Make sure you don't have any moisture on them when you plug them back in. If you do, you can cause things to short out once again.
In most models, these cables are labeled O and OO.
This first one, if you look at the direction, if you look at the pins, that'll tell you where these go at. So you want to go metal to metal, not metal to plastic. Clean this off real quick. Okay, that part's complete.
Seat the print head within the print head housing, taking care not to crimp, pinch, or fold the ribbon cables.
Together, if you have this already assembled, then you can stick this in here. You can't put this and then put this in here and put that on there because there's no room. So you put that on there like that. Careful when you're doing this because you don't want to knock those little pads off, those little white pads off. They need to stay where they're at, so you can see them on here that they're in the right spots. Okay.
Replace the three screws that secure the print head within the housing.
Okay. It's in place.
Attach the print head assembly to the print head casing.
Take this now, and it only goes on one way. You see how that, see these are little nipples, they match right onto your dampers right here. So they should go just like that. We have to screw it back together now.
Remember, there are three screws that secure the print head to the casing, two on one side and one on the other. Use this configuration to ensure the print head assembly is aligned properly. Also ensure the nozzle ports connect to the print head properly.
Now that they're all in place,
Gently reinsert the print head into the print carriage.
all right, now we have to put the print head back in place. Make sure all your wires that you removed are out of the way, because you will need them later.
You must be aware of the various ribbon cables and wire harness connectors as you seat the print head. Ensure the two disconnected wire harnesses and their wires are not within the print carriage. Take care not to crimp, pinch, or fold the ribbon cables. Also remember the print head casing has various tabs that could catch on other carriage parts, causing serious damage if the print head is not replaced carefully.
Plugging all the wires back in.
Reconnect the two wire harnesses and the ribbon cable. The two black wires fit into a small groove beneath the ribbon cables and along the back of the print head.
These only go in one way because the grooves should line up with the grooves. Okay. Once again, make sure the metal connections are not damaged or bent, and they line up and they go right in the metal to metal slot.
There's a black tab extending from the back center of the print head that these wires must slide under to be held in place.
Okay.
And then the next step would be,
Put the little clippy back on.
Replace the black ribbon cable clip.
All right, it's in place.
Replace the carriage bracket.
Okay.
To make reassembly easier, at this time only insert and lightly tighten the center screw of the carriage bracket.
Yep. I would put the spring on at this point because it's easier to move it when it's moving like this than when it's locked in place.
Reattach the tension spring. The best way to accomplish this is by sliding a spring loop over the carriage bracket first. If you have only lightly tightened the center screw of the carriage bracket, the bracket should be able to pivot a little bit to aid in attaching the tension spring to the print carriage.
I'm not tightening that one down yet. You have to move it so you can get this one in place. And now you can tighten it down in place.
Complete replacement of the carriage bracket by inserting and tightening the two remaining screws, as well as finishing tightening the center screw.
Place this on.
Replace the clear plastic top cover, but use care when lowering the cover. It's very easy to touch, scrape, or damage the encoder strip, which runs alongside the back of the cover. Something as small as a partial fingerprint or a drop of ink residue can cause the printer to air out if it gets onto the encoder strip. When the cover is in place, secure it using the remaining 4 screws. Return the print carriage to the capping station and power on your printer. Run a head cleaning to prime the new print head, check the head height, and perform a nozzle check to ensure the new head is operating properly. Resume printing.